officials have declined to comment on a possible motive. Oh, gee, I wonder. No possible motive suspected here, despite the fact that the eyewitnesses on the scene said that this individual shouted, you guessed it, Allah Akbar, during the rampage.
The Pentagon war planners have rightfully said that 90% of modern warfare is informational. That's why it's more important than ever that all of you watching subscribe on YouTube, like us on Facebook, and follow us on Twitter at Real Alex Jones, because InfoWars is the front line of the fight. And without your help and support, we will fail. With your support and with your prayers, we will be victorious against the globalists together.
It is Friday, July 28, 2017. I'm Paul Joseph Watson in for Alex Jones. Huge show today. We've got Tommy Robinson coming up in the second hour. He's got a new book out telling people what's really in the Quran, the truth about the religion of peace. That's going to be interesting in the second hour. For the time being, we've got big breaking news. Terror in Germany has struck again. This isn't really being reported by many of the big news agencies because they'd rather just gloss over it and pretend everything's hunky-dory. In Merkel land, as she imports millions more refugees. One killed, multiple injured in Hamburg knife attack. That is out of RT. One person has been killed and several others injured in a bloody knife attack at a supermarket in Hamburg, Germany. According to local police, the suspect has been arrested. However, officials have declined to comment on a possible motive. Oh, gee, I wonder. No possible motive suspected here, despite the fact that the eyewitnesses on the scene said that this individual shouted, you guessed it, Allah Akbar, during the rampage. So we have at least one person dead right now, several injured. It looks like the suspect has thankfully been apprehended. It looks like yet another Islamic terror attack in Merkel land, the land of 2 million plus refugees, economic migrants in reality, since 2015. And just look at what is happening. We're going to get more into that later in regards to the migrant crisis, because there is just a deluge of news on that. Also breaking at this hour, though, this is also out of RT, North Korea believed to have conducted new missile test. North Korea is believed to have conducted a new missile test, Japanese national public broadcaster NHK reported today, citing government officials. It looks like it landed in the Sea of Japan once again. Whether this will be the spark that entails new military action potentially against North Korea, we'll wait and see. Usually doesn't, does it? It usually just drags on until the next missile incident and nothing really happens. Tensions continue to simmer, but that is also breaking at this hour. Now, one of the top stories up on Infowars.com right now is a new development on a story we've been tracking all week. The headline is Pastor confirms plot to take out Trump is physical. As the deep state democratic coup against the legitimately elected president intensifies, we have more details on this potential assassination plot against the president being cooked up from within the dark underbelly of the deep state. This is, of course, Pastor Rodney Howard-Browne, who appeared on the show with Alex a couple of days ago after he went public with how he was told by a senior Republican congressman of a plot to, quote, take out President Trump in the near future. Now, he's made it even more explicit in these new comments that that meant to physically remove the president, not through indictment, not through impeachment, not through some kind of political protest, to physically remove the president. He went on to talk about the John Hinckley Jr. assassination attempt against Ronald Reagan, how that changed Ronald Reagan's direction back in the 80s. So again, whether this supposed assassination plot, and we've been talking about this story for months now, given how the media, given how the dominant culture is placing this in the public's mind that this is inevitable, that someone will try and assassinate Donald Trump, given that build-up, given that lead-up, could we see an attempt in the near future? That's what a lot of people are warning about, including this prominent pastor who now has confirmed that this threat, this plan, was physical. Of course, he was interrogated to some extent by the Secret Service after he made these comments. He actually made them over a week ago. It only really intensified when Infowars.com picked up the story. but he's now confirming that that is a physical plot. We'll be back after the break with more news, Infowars.com.
What the aging process is when the cell replicates, we lose a little bit of our telomeres. Telomeres are the little cups on the end of our chromosomes.
And when it runs out, you start dying. Secure your DNA force today at InfoWarsLife.com.